What's up, guys? Today we're trying out a new situation. We're trying out car YouTube. So, what I'm trying to do with this setup is I'm trying to find a place to consistently have to do videos, and that'll change and evolve over time. But for now, I want to have a consistent place where I know if all else fails, I can hop in the car and get a video done because, like I said before, this is a 5 year plan for me. I don't consider anything failure until 5 years of 2 to 4 videos per week is posted of my complete, deepest, darkest thoughts, truths, perspective on everything that I can possibly give. So I'm parked in a location where I know I'll have this parking spot. I live in a place where I know I'll live here for a while, at least for a year or two. And I basically want to make this my fail safe, consistent place that I know I have if all else fails. So we're going to give this a shot. So far, the lighting looks okay. I feel more comfortable to express myself in here. I can speak up a little bit more. Some of you saw my first few videos was at my job. I just feel like I have to whisper. I feel a little bit neutered and I don't feel as free to express myself. And I'm more comfortable in here. A lot of times, obviously we spend most of our time in the car. So it feels good to kind of sit in here. It feels comfortable. It feels like a familiar place, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to keep this as my consistent place. And obviously, I'll be able to switch it up here and there as I want to. This should be where things are going to be for a while. So let's see how it works. You guys will let me know how you feel about it. I feel like I can kind of talk a little bit louder and it just feels more comfortable overall. So I just wanted to get that off for the first couple minutes. And you guys know I like to go on tangents, so I'm always going to overdo it. But for now, this feels good and I like it. And maybe I'll keep it this way. I'm a minimalist. As you guys see, I pretty much wear black all the time. I try to keep my life super simple. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of the minimalist mindset, why I became a minimalist, how that even happened in the first place. And I'm going to talk about some of the good things that come about when you adopt this mindset, because I think most men should start here and then branch out from this position. So I'll start with what minimalism did for me. Honestly, minimalism taught me true happiness from an internal perspective. A lot of times people search outside of themselves to find happiness, to find comfort. Minimalism taught me that you really don't need much in this life to be happy. And I'll start with where this all started. I started thinking about minimalism when I was going through my divorce because I was forced to. I was put in a position where I had to budget harder than I ever have before. And it's not like I was struggling to eat. I wasn't at risk of being homeless or anything like that. I was in a pretty comfortable situation, but what it did was it made me worry about the future. It made me kind of think about how much lawyer fees are going to be and how much child support's going to be. And I had no idea what was ahead. So it kind of put me in a position where I wanted to play life on defense. And that's pretty much how I operate in life now in most regards. I believe you should be offensive and aggressive with money and opportunities and pursuits, but I think you should be very defensive in the way that you take care of your paperwork, your savings, your finances. And I'll explain more of that in the future. I don't want to kind of get off topic, but when I was going through that divorce, I found comfort in eating just the amount of food I needed to eat, spending the amount of money I thought was necessary to basically sustain my lifestyle. So if I knew that I was okay with going Monday through Friday eating groceries, but on Saturday morning I could have that burrito from that nice burrito place downtown, it gave me some peace and it gave me some calm and some understanding that, okay, as far as I can control, this is going to be my budget for the next week or two. Now, obviously, there's other factors that come into play because when I got divorced, I was back on the dating scene and I was going out with people and I was paying for dinners here and there and stuff like that. But at least taught me what I needed to be happy for myself and to sustain myself. And it wasn't much. I was good with going out to eat maybe once every 3 weeks to a month, as far as like a sit down restaurant with like a waitress. It taught me that I was good with wearing the same exact thing to go to work every day. And I actually adopted this and I do this now. I'm the only person at my job and I don't go to a job where I have to wear a uniform, and people dress up at my job for some reason. I don't have a job where I need to wear a uniform, but I created my own uniform. I actually wear all black pretty much 90% of the time now, and I'll mix it up here and there. I'll wear some grays and I'll put some stuff like a jacket on or a brown jacket or a white jacket. It just keeps it simple for me. I don't have to think about that. I was talking to my mom about it the other day and she was like, Keon, you just too much. Because she's like, you're always doing something, you're always adjusting something, you're always clawing at some type of new mindset, some type of new perspective. And she's right, I'm addicted to growth. Nonetheless, minimalism gives me peace of mind. It actually teaches me that I can control my mood from an internal perspective. I don't have to add outside stuff to feel better. I don't need to go shopping to lift myself up. I don't need to have a whole bunch of different options in the closet to feel like I can look good. It teaches me that most of my validation comes from eating properly, doing the hard things every day, putting things on my to-do list that are conducive to success, specifically what I deem as success, not what you deem as success. Success to me is not making $1 million. Success to me is a different thing. It's about owning my time. It's about having freedom and having pursuits that I actually genuinely care about and genuinely can dedicate myself to. That's what freedom is to me. And minimalism was my true introduction to that. It truly gave me freedom in the way that I actually know the amount of money I need in order to live the lifestyle that I'm going to keep. A lot of people, they don't take a position on how much money they need or the lifestyle they need because they're going to keep adding to it. As they make 5 grand, they add more things. As they make 10 grand, they add more things. I've come to the position where I know if I want to watch 1 or 2 movies per week, I know I want to eat out every 2 weeks, no matter how much money I'm making. Now, I'll be honest, if I could choose, I would eat Chipotle a lot more, but it's just that one place, Chipotle and maybe Fresh Kitchen. But as far as going to like a restaurant and eating, the greasier foods or like a larger variety of foods, I'm not too interested in that. I like what I like. It kind of rewired my brain to appreciate the small things. When I walk into my house, I don't want a whole bunch of different things. I don't want to say I read 500 books. I want to say I read 5 books and I read them over and over in order to completely understand the message and to be able to give examples and apply them in different parts of my life and give game on different aspects of those books and be able to spit out the information necessary from those books to help people on a whim. That's what's more important to me, not to collect the whole library of books so I can show off to my friends or I can have it in my house and say, oh, it's because it's like a message you send, right? You put it in the living room and everybody that walks in sees, oh, wow, you've read all those books. Yeah, but you're still fat. Yeah. Okay. That's not nice. But you guys get the point, hopefully. I'm just joking. There's nothing wrong with being fat. Actually, yes, there is. It's disrespectful to yourself. Not to get off topic. Minimalism gives you a solid foundation. I think if you spend a lot of time being a minimalist, you can genuinely select the few things you need to add to your life that makes you feel better. It doesn't mean you have to stay a minimalist forever. And you may consider yourself a minimalist and you actually do a lot more and have a lot more than other minimalists. However, you know when you're taking the minimalistic approach based on your needs and your personality. For me, I'm a hardcore minimalist. I don't want a bunch of clothes. I don't want a bunch of shoes. I'm not interested in it. I don't want a bunch of different dietary options. I don't want a whole bunch of different activities that I do. I like structure. I like doing similar things each day. And I try to not fall into things that are not going to lead me to success. For example, I like basketball. Could I watch basketball every day? Yeah. Could I get into it? Probably. But watching basketball for 2 hours a day is not going to take me anywhere. Now, for me, I also like video games. Do I want to play video games 2 hours a day? Yes. Do I play video games 2 hours a day? Yes. But the reason I do that is because it gives me a little bit of downtime and a little bit of a mental break in order to get back into it and get to the things that matter. So I use that as a break. Instead of taking a nap, I hop on the game and I listen to a podcast and I'm actually learning something while I'm playing the game. And a lot of people don't know this, but the type of games I play, I actually mainly play games that don't have a lot of dialogue. The reason for that is because I can use 2 senses. So I can pay attention visually, but I can also listen to the podcast. So while I'm playing that video game for 2 hours, I'm actually listening to an audiobook. And for some reason, I feel like I'm more in tune with the audiobook when I'm doing something else. If I'm not playing the video game and I'm listening to the audiobook, I'm not paying attention to a lot of the stuff that's happening in the book. But it's something about using both senses in that exact combination for me that's it's euphoric, it's utopia. And who would have knew? Like I figured out something that can kind of kill 2 birds with one stone. I'm building a character, I'm doing this, I'm working on this player, and I'm listening to an audiobook about, the subtle art of not caring or, atomic habits. Those are a few books I've listened to in the past. And I used to feel bad about this. It's interesting because I used to feel like that was not a fart. That was my shoe that made a noise, just in case somebody picked that up and they want to comment on it and be strange. Anyway, I used to feel bad about this, like, dang, does this really count? Because I'm just listening to an audiobook. I have a whole English degree, by the way. So like I shouldn't have to read books anymore. I've read a bunch of books. I don't want to read anymore. I don't want to sit and stare at words and like go line to line and read. I'd rather somebody just read it to me and I'm doing other stuff like washing dishes or playing video games. That's just how I like to do it. So minimalism is your approach. I think there's a lot of benefits from being a minimalist. I think that a lot of people should give it a shot and use that as their foundation and then add small things that may seem like they're not a minimalistic approach. However, for you, because you know yourself, It is, because you need those things to kind of rejuvenate, recharge, get some downtime, pick yourself back up, and then you can get back to what matters. But men who start off from a minimalist foundation, I think, have a lot better shot in life. I think it puts you in a better financial situation as you're younger. I think it gives you more opportunity. It clears out your schedule a lot more, and the things you end up adding in your schedule are more conducive to success. So that's just a few random thoughts of mine on minimalism, my approach, and what works for me. More to come. Oh, by the way, I've never asked anybody to like and subscribe, but please do. I'm going to be here for at least 5 years and do 2 videos every week, at least, hopefully 4, and that's going to happen unless I die or I'm in jail or something crazy like that's happening. It's gonna happen 100%. I dedicate my life to it. So hopefully you guys stick around with me. More random thoughts to come. Appreciate you guys being here.